Hi YouTube. I had a request to show some of my collection of highlighters, and that was a really good request because it made me kind of dig around in my makeup drawers and actually think about what I use as highlighters, because actually now I kind of think of any product that I use to give some luminosity as a highlighter. Although I suppose the kind of more traditional definition would be simply to include those products that one might use to specifically highlight an area of the face, give definition by focusing light on that particular area. That's certainly how I used the first highlighters I bought when I was first using makeup, 30 years ago. But now my priority as a middle-aged woman with drier, more dehydrated, frankly, simply aging skin is to add luminosity to my skin tone. And there are loads and loads of great products out there which do that. And I guess really they're kind of almost my favourite makeup products, much as I love playing with coloured shadows and lipsticks, blushes and so forth. The products that I find make the biggest difference to how I look are products that are focused on my complexion, foundations and luminizers and highlighters. So thanks for that request. Because I have such a lot, and because I'm kind of treating the request as including luminizing as well as strictly highlighting products, I'm probably going to divide this up into two and deal first of all with the liquid highlighters and luminizers, and then do a separate vid about powder highlighters and illuminating powders, because I have a whole mass of those. But the very first highlighting product, maybe the second actually thinking about it, product that I can remember buying is one that I still have in my collection and I kind of forgotten about until this request, and it's this one by Benefit called High Beam, which is a highlighter, a liquid highlighter, which comes in a bottle. It's a small bottle with a brush applicator, and it's a great product. I've had several of these. This is probably about my third bottle, even though they last for ages. And I've also had similar ones from the Benefit range. They do a kind of more goldeny one, and one called Moonbeam as well, which is very similar to High Beam. High Beam's my favourite. It's a pinky champagne highlighter that, if you don't like glitter but like a definite touch of light, this is a really good one, and the brush allows you to pinpoint where you want to put it on the cheeks or brow bones. It's not a budget buy, but neither is it high-end. Benefit are, I regard as a good value brand if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Their products are always pretty reliable. The only thing I don't like about them really is the packaging. It's quite kind of in your face, gimmicky, not particularly stylish, but that's a small gripe. The product itself is a good one, and I would thoroughly recommend it as a liquid highlighter. Really, really versatile product, and as I say, it's probably one of the products that's been in my collection the longest. The other product in the sort of range of saying it's suitable for everyone would be this by Laura Mercier. I'm not even sure that it's strictly a highlighter or luminizer. It's called Secret Finish, and the purpose of it is to either freshen up or make your overall makeup look kind of moist rather than luminized. It gives a very, very faintly, you can't even see it there, finished glow. And again, this is a product that I have probably had about 4 tubes of since I started using it. I've never discovered anything entirely like it. It's a really, really useful product for freshening up your makeup, making your skin look perked up. So not strictly a highlighter, but a product that I would thoroughly recommend. Again, one of the well-known old-fashioned, it's been around for a long time, luminizing creams is Strobe Cream by MAC. To be honest, I am less of a fan of this than quite a lot of the liquid luminizers. I don't like the tube very much. It's slightly stiff to squeeze product out of, so I find there's a lot left over at the end. It gives a very high pearlized sheen. It's not showing a great deal there. It's suitable either to be used over makeup, or I find actually better mixed with foundation or under foundation. But it isn't, unlike some of the products I'm going to talk about in a minute, strictly a primer. And I think if you use it under your makeup, it can actually affect negatively your foundation. Or you can use it on its own, which works quite well. But because it's not really a primer and yet it works best under foundation, that's one of the reasons I'm less keen on it. Although it's very highly thought of in the industry. It's great on your shoulders, legs, limbs to offer sheen, to be honest, but as a luminizer, I'm less keen. Products that you can use to luminize and effectively to prime are becoming more and more popular. The first one that I had is this fiendishly expensive Essence of Gold Radiance Concentrate with Pure Gold by Guerlain, which is supposed to be used under makeup as a prime over. It's a clear gel. It's really beautiful. It has tiny flecks of gold leaf in the jar, but to be honest, I don't think it does anything when you put it on under makeup. So I really wouldn't recommend that, although it's been around for years and a lot of people really like it. The two that I use most are Burberry Glow, which has been out for about 2 years now. I like the Burberry makeup range. This is a primer. It's called Luminous Fluid Base. You put it on under your makeup, so effectively a primer. It certainly works very well with their and other foundations, just adding a bit of a kind of goldeny glow. And it's a nice treatment. It doesn't, however, have an SPF. This one, which I talked about in my July favourites that I finally got hold of in the United States by Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, does have an SPF of 25, which is pretty good. It's described as an illuminator. You can use it under and over makeup, and I was using it under my foundation. It's quite a pearlized, it's actually called pearl. There are other goldeny shades. This one suited my skin tone the best. It gives a very strong pearlized finish, which is toned down by your foundation or moisturizer or BB cream, and I think it gives a really good luminous base for more mature skin, and it lasts really well. It's quite pricey and it's difficult to get hold of in the UK, much easier to get hold of in the States, but I thoroughly recommend it. And then two very similar ones that I have and I've talked about a lot that go on over your makeup, or I sometimes mix, particularly the Soleil Tan de Chanel with my foundation, are fluid illuminators, one by Tom Ford. This one's called Firelust, was part of the summer collection. I'm not sure if it's limited edition, but you can certainly still get it at the moment. I really like it because it's very subtle. It gives a very subtle pearlized rosy glow beautiful over blush or bronzer without any clunky glitter, no glitter at all. The Chanel Fluid Illuminator is more pearlised, it's more in your face, and you do have to be a bit more careful about it if you don't want to look like an oil slick. But they're both good. Are they worth it? You know, if you were only going for one product, I think something like the Becca or even the High Beam are probably better value, but they are really nice products. And then I haven't got many cream highlighters. One of the first I ever had was by a brand called Face Stockholm, which I never see in the UK anymore. And I had probably my first ever highlighter was a pearlised cream highlighter that lasted for ages and I really, really liked. And the nearest that I've got to it now is by Mally, sells on QVC here in the UK. It's much less creamy than the Face Stockholm one. It actually feels like powder when you put it on, but it is a lovely subtle sheen. And I was very dubious about using the brush they provided with it, but in fact it does apply even more subtly over blusher if you just want a little bit of illumination with the brush part. And with this more concentrated tool, I like to apply it in the inner corner of my eye to brighten up the eye. So I do like that product. I'm grateful to Lisa for asking me to make this video because in fact I'd forgotten I had it, and it's a great product. And the other one that I do use from time to time, I think this was a limited edition, so difficult to get now, but it's Marc Jacobs who's just bringing out another makeup collection I haven't looked at yet, so maybe he will have an illuminator there. And this was described as a cream blush, but in reality it's an illuminator. It's not giving sufficient colour payoff to blush, but gives a very nice pink toned highlight to the cheeks. So I think that's the highlights of my liquid highlighter illuminator collection. All of them great products that I would recommend, apart from the very expensive Guerlain Radiance Concentrate, which I would not, in all honesty, recommend. And I'll be looking at some of my favourite powder illuminators in the next video. Bye for now.